Hey everybody, this is TJR. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. And if not, welcome back. And it's that time again. Just received the latest selection of the month from Vinyl Me Please. And Vinyl Me Please, in case you're not familiar, is a specialty company that re-releases older albums in very cool, how shall I say, just very cool packaging, repressings, and I am subscribed to the rock category. However, I was not interested in this month's rock category, so I swapped out for something out of the essentials category instead. And so let's go ahead. We're going to open this up and we're going to check this out, and we're going to talk about the artist and the album and the music. And remember, it doesn't matter what format you enjoy, as long as you enjoy. So here we go. We'll pull this out here and set this packaging aside. Maybe you've already figured it out, but here we go. Joni Mitchell, The Hissing of Summer Lawns. This is the Vinyl Me Please edition. This is from their Essentials selection of the month. And let's take a look here, what it says here on the OB strip. AAA, that means all analog, lacquer's cut from the master tapes by Ryan Smith at Sterling Sound, pressed on exclusive double 45 RPM green vinyl. So this was done on 45 RPM, and that is because it provides a better audio quality. And we'll open this up here. This comes with its own resealable cover. Here we go. Sometimes selections of the month have exclusive listening notes. In other words, a little booklet with their own exclusive liner notes or essay, that type of thing. Here is the record here. Now, Joni Mitchell, of course, probably needs no introduction for any of you out there. I must be honest here and say that I am now beginning to try to explore deeper into her catalog. For a long time, I only owned one Joni Mitchell album, and that was Court and Spark, which I've always just loved. I thought it was a great album. One time I tried to listen to another album of hers called Blue that everybody said was one of her greatest. And I listened to it, and I of course didn't think it was bad, but I wasn't like getting into it in any kind of real way. I'm starting to wonder if maybe the CD version I bought just wasn't a very good CD replication. I've had a couple of experiences where that kind of blemished how I heard it. And by the way, I collect CDs too. If you're new to this channel, I think CDs are great too. I think sometimes CDs sound better than LPs, and sometimes LPs sound better than CDs. But I'm always very happy with what Vinyl Me Please does with their releases here. And so, yeah, I have been trying to get more into Joni Mitchell's catalog. I have picked up some of her other albums at estate sales, bought them used, vintage copies, and I've been starting to listen to her other stuff now. And of course, when I wasn't happy with the selection of the month in rock, and I saw this, I thought, okay, I don't know this album. I haven't really listened to it ever, but it's Joni Mitchell. I'm going to give it a try. And let's take a look here. I'm looking at the back here. I recognize at least one of the songs here on this album, entitled In France, They Kiss on Main Street. I recognize that one. The rest of these, I don't think I've ever heard before, or maybe I have, but don't remember. But anyways, though, I've noticed this has kind of an embossed feel to it. When I touch these figures here, there's like an embossment here. I don't know if the original album was that way or not, the original release. Here is the interior. Here we go. And we've got lyrics. And we've got some other credits here. And we've got Joni in the water, swimming. And let's see here. Let's take a look inside here. I get the feeling, because it wasn't advertised on the OB, that there's no listening notes for this one, which is a rarity for them. Usually there's always a little booklet with listening notes. And that's basically like a little essay about the artist and the album. So here it is. It's in a black paper sleeve with poly lining. Let's pull one of these out. There we go. So yeah, this, as you can see, this green matches the color of the cover. There we go. Very nice. Yeah, usually when they do these at 45 RPM, the sound quality is just amazing on them. And so hopefully this will be too. They're not all this way, by the way, in case you've never watched any of my previous Vinyl Me Please unboxings. They are sometimes, in fact, most of the time, they're at 33 RPM. But every once in a while, I see these ones that are at 45. Okay, so we just got the same color on both records. There's no difference there between the two. And there we go. As always, the covers are always very sturdy, heavy duty. One little thing I notice here, I should say on previous releases that I don't notice on this one here, is that in the past I've kind of noticed just a little added touch. Like, for instance, look at the color of the cover here. Usually the interior is colored the same rather than just the cardboard, you know, the visible cardboard color interior. They will actually have colored interior on the inside. The Fleetwood Mac, one that they did a little while back, that was of the second self-titled album, featuring, of course, the new lineup with Buckingham and Nicks. That one actually, because the cover was white, the interior was white, but you actually had little illustrations of the penguins on the inside. It's a tiny little thing, but it just shows you sometimes the level of quality that they would put into these. But for whatever reason, this one doesn't. For whatever reason, there's no booklet with this one, unique booklet. And sometimes these even come with an art print, an exclusive art print, themed to the album. And I've opened some of those, of course, in the past. But this one doesn't. This one is just the album here, Gatefold. But it is on 2 LPs at 45 RPM, and that's got to count for something. Anyways, though, so we're going to go ahead now. I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to go listen to this for the first time. And not only am I listening to this for the first time, but it's the first time I've ever listened to the album itself, ever. And so we'll check that out. But I'm anxious to hear, like I said, trying to get more into Joni Mitchell. And we'll be back after we listen. Sorry, I can't play it for you here. YouTube, copyright. It's just a thing, Sorry. Okay, we are back. And I have listened to this. I've listened to side 1, which, because it's at 45 RPM, means there's just 3 songs. In France, They Kiss on Main Street, The Jungle Line, and Edith and the Kingpin. Also, bear in mind that I've never heard this album before. Sometimes when I do these, they're albums that I have owned all my life, but I want to hear and own the Vinyl Me Please version. And so my perspective is very different because I'm very familiar with the music. But here it's just first impressions, with the exception of the first track. The first track, In France, They Kiss on Main Street, was one that I was familiar with, though I haven't heard it in decades. But I remember hearing that song when I was very young, when I was a teenager. And it sounded as great now as it did then, but it was such a rush to hear it after so long, I'd kind of forgotten about it. And the second song, The Jungle Line, very bizarro, out of left field, is my first impression, but definitely want to hear it more. And then, of course, the third track, Edith and the Kingpin, very mysterious and moody. I should also mention that In France, They Kiss on Main Street sounds like it could have been off of Court and Spark. It has just that feel to it. It has the cadence to the vocal phrasings are that way. I can say more about that song because I've heard it more. I have a memory of it, but these other ones I've never heard before. As I listened, I, of course, read the lyrics off the here on the inner sleeve. Oh, and also, gatefold, sorry. Also, I thought at first glance that this was just credits, but this is actually a little essay from Joni Mitchell, just a few words about the album, about some of her thoughts on it, and that's what that is. So yeah, that was cool to read, especially since there were no listening notes booklet with this one here. Audio quality wise, of course, it's at 45 RPM. It sounds amazing, very dimensional. instruments it's like the difference between watching 2D and 3D is kind of the best way I can describe it. It almost feels like I can hear notes just like coming out at me, and different notes are aligned in different ways, and they're all just kind of like coming at me like this. And so, yeah, best way I can describe it. As I read the credits too, I found out, of course, that this is artwork by Joni Mitchell. I, of course, have known that she's an artist, and this is one of her works of art here. And let's open this up and give it the attention it deserves. There we go. Yeah. Also noticed that on this particular album, on the first song, In France They Kiss on Main Street, background vocals by Graham Nash, David Crosby, James Taylor, and Joni Mitchell. That's awesome. Anyways, though, on the song here, Edith and the Kingpin, we've got Larry Carlton on that track. And on this one here, the first song, there was a cool electric guitar solo, really cool solo by, it says here, electric guitar, Robin Ford and Jeff Baxter. So I don't know which one it was. Maybe it was both of them, though there was only one guitar tone. I'm guessing it was one or the other. But yeah, very cool guitar solo there. Anyways, though, looking forward to checking out the rest. But a very solid, excellent release from Vinyl Me Please. They've always been really good. I'm a little disappointed that there was, again, no listening booklet, no other extra. Like sometimes, like I said, there's a special art print that goes with it, but not this time. Not this time. Anyways, though, but there it is. VMP Essentials release, Essentials category. Joni Mitchell. The Hissing of Summer Lawns. So, yeah. Anyways, though, that's this month's Vinyl Me Please selection of the month. And I do one of these each time I get one. I do other videos about music on this channel as well that you might want to check out. And if you like these videos, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. If you can't be a patron supporters do receive exclusive weekly videos that are not available on this channel. If you can't be a patron supporter, I understand. You can also show your support by, at any time, for any video that I make, you can just do a one-time super thanks and leave a small donation to help me keep the lights on here. And I know times are tough, so if you can't do that, hey, I understand. You can help by just clicking like. Clicking like is free. And it helps this channel grow, but it also gives me encouragement, and encouragement is good. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.